It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Wednesday show, October 18th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, the Fox local app if you're watching live. If you are watching on YouTube, we say hello to everybody out there. Hello. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube and hit the like button. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
I am fascinated with these Phillies. Like I know I jumped the gun. I know I didn't say hi back, Mass. Hello, hey, buddy. Ryan. Hello. I'm fascinated with the Phillies. Like watching that.
Fascinated with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
Yeah, not Philly Swisher Sweets. The Philadelphia Phillies, as they are known out there. 10-zip yesterday. They beat down on the Arizona Diamondbacks. But just watching that crowd, I'm just really excited about the potential of, as you talked about, Scott Harris cleaning that up with Detroit and the Detroit Tigers becoming that. Because I didn't get a chance to really experience, 06 and the years with you guys and Maglio and that and the World Series around. Because I was playing. I was always in season. But watching
that's your fault.
I was playing football.
I know.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't exactly. But, Matt, it took me back to being a kid and watching the Philadelphia Mullets. Like the Philly Mullets and those guys, there's something about Philly when they have success. You really see like a community aspect of it. And boy, those guys can hit bombs in their stadium. I don't know. They're going to have to check those bats. They're hitting too many home runs, man. It's getting to the point where we're starting to get suspicious. That's just me.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, fellas. Happy Wednesday. Hey, man. This week's going pretty good.
I think so.
This week's going pretty good.
John Crook.
Pretty good.
Lenny Dykstra.
This weather doesn't hurt either.
Beautiful weather out there.
Beautiful.
No doubt.
Beautiful. Made it out to Holly today. So my buddies out in Holly, trying to get a couple over the curb.
Okay.
Push a couple. Anyone need anything? Just give me a holler. I got you hooked up.
Cars or something else.
Got you hooked up here, guys.
That's great, Tom.
And go Phils. And tonight, go Max Scherzer.
Well, it's funny. We'll talk a lot of Lions today, but just indulge us with a little baseball talk. Last night, there might not be a better home field in sports than in Philadelphia at the Phillies games. That is a scene, a wild scene, raucous crowd. You hang on every pitch, and my goodness, man, I don't know if the D-backs even get one.
The only thing I can think as good, and that's key, that's as good, not even better, is Golden State. It's Golden State. When Golden State is rocking, you watch it on TV. Like, Golden State looks different when they win. But it's something about an outdoor arena. It's something about a stadium. It's something about nighttime and the night sky and the lights on that way. And then you hear the ball hit off the bat. As in Philly's case, a lot. Yeah. But you hear that ball hit off the bat in October and Phillies fan, the bank are rocking like that. Nah, I don't even think Golden State can top that. Something about that outside energy.
Every ball that Bryce Harper hits
is gone.
Looks like it's going to be gone. Like he stands there and looks at it. Unless he's hitting a single or a double that he knows it's on a rope. Those balls in the outfield look like they're going to be gone. But Kyle Schwarber with two yesterday, Trey Turner a home run.
How about what Schwarber did?
Just all these guys, man, all coming together.
Your favorite team ever and one of your favorite players ever is Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. He tied Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
19 home runs in the playoffs for a left-handed left-handed batter.
Played a lot more games than Reggie did.
Way more.
I don't know. Just as a quick side, just to bring it back closer to the Tigers a little bit. I know you draft well and you do all this stuff, but for the analytics crowd out there, and I know there is a space for it. But look at the Phillies, man. Schwarber, Harper, Turner.
Free agents.
All three of them free agents. All three of them what can they do?
Nick Castellanos.
They can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Hit the ball out the park.
So for every time somebody brings me, analytics, some computer geek.
Right.
And I'll raise you a Kyle Schwarber, throw in a Castellanos, a Trey Turner, and I'll go all in with Bryce Harper.
You know who the king is? It's Dave Dombrowski. He's the king.
Again,
he's the freaking king.
It's so funny, too, because you look at Kyle Schwarber, to make you right, Ryan Ermanni. Like, you look at his actual real, like the stat line, you look at his percentage, you look at his slugging percentage, you look at his batting average, you look at it, you're like, that's what he's doing. But then you look at the actual results of, look, if he's 172, but he's getting 3 home runs every 2 games, I'm cool with the 172 almost.
And not only that, but I mean, you look at the Texas Rangers on the other side. The Texas Rangers lost 100 games 2 years ago. And you know what they did? Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Robbie Grossman.
And a lot of good young
Nathan
kids.
Eovaldi.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's just one after the other. So, yes, you can buy yourself out of this. I'm not a big believer in, there's only one way to do this. You have to, Torkelson and who's the kid? Carpenter. Riley Green. Homegrown, and then spend wisely after that. I get it. Yeah. That's all fine and good, but look at the 2 teams that are probably going to meet for the World Series here in Texas and Philadelphia. Both teams have a 2-0 lead, and look at how they built their teams.
A lot of money
by spending a lot of money.
A lot of money. Texas has one of the biggest payrolls, and you know what Dave Dombrowski does? He gives away his minor leagues, and he puts great major leaguers that are ready to blossom on his roster, and they're all playoff tested.
Here's another team. Remember when we first started, like the Orioles were worse than the Tigers, and now the Orioles have made it to the playoffs this year. You look at
they drafted right.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of it. So that's us. So that would be us then.
We hope so.
I'd rather be the guy still playing right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And you see what Arizona did. Arizona drafted well, too, and they look completely overmatched by the better team on the other side.
And the one thing about, too, you're 100% right. One of the stats they said before the game is they said they're the best fielding team in Major League Baseball. I think they were plus 46. They're way ahead of everybody else in terms of defense. Maz, you know when you can't play defense, Ryan and Monty? When the ball's out of the stadium.
That's right.
You can't play defense when the ball is not in the field.
That's a fact.
In the field of play.
We used to put a guy in the bank lot on 74th Street, and we'd be playing stickball on 73rd Street.
Okay.
Because you got to clear the buildings and try to hit it to 74th Street. That's where the home run was, over the building. So, if you want to catch a home run, you better get outside Citizens Bank Park.
No doubt.
I got a shout out here. It's
Is it Reverend Al?
Reverend Chris? No, I say happy birthday to Reverend Chris. No, but that's besides the point. Today would have been Brian Frazier's 21st birthday. He's a friend of our family, lovely kid, and he was one of the kids that were murdered at Michigan State last year. He would have been 21 years old today. President of Phi Delta, the best kid you could ever want to meet. You'd want your daughter to marry him. And I just wanted to say, and to his family and his friends, they look at guys like me. Oh, yeah, I celebrated Lily's 21st birthday. We surprised her. Great day. And they don't get a chance to do that with their son. I don't mean to bring the house down here, but my heart is with the Frazier family. Brian Frazier in heaven, we love you.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Happy birthday. And
everybody else last year that lost their lives.
Absolutely. And everybody on that tragedy at Michigan State. Let's take a break here. Let's come back and we'll liven it up with some Lions talk. How about that? But first, a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason without any penalty at all? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates is offering. It's called their minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren, I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates exclusive atmosphere, and now they're open till midnight. Michigan's largest cannabis mall. 21 up, you have to be recreational only, but it's the best place to consume your product. And they got the best products going, whether it's Hyman, whether it's runts, whether it's flour, whether it's cannabis, whether it's oil, and of course it's cannabis, because that's what they have. They got that fire for you, man. So pull up. They are the local plug.
Hey guys, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Parker. We got JB back.
We got
today.
everybody, baby.
Love it when JB's here.
JB, did you make any money yesterday?
Very little.
Very little.
All right, we're going to have to just pay you just to come on in there.
Very little.
All right?
Very little.
You don't need to miss us on Tuesdays.
There you go.
Give me a number.
Dan Campbell opened up his press conference today. By the way, Dan Miller will join us top of hour number 2. So in about 50 minutes from now, we'll talk to Dan Miller about all things related to the Lions. And then we'll talk to intern Alex on campus and in Ann Arbor, Michigan State Week. See what's happening as far as the Wolverines go and what it's like to be on campus during the Michigan State Week. But Braylon Edwards, let me start with this. Obviously, the big story with the Lions, I think the big story with the Lions is all these friggin' injuries. I mean, it's just one after the next. They just seem to keep piling up. Dan Campbell said he was going to take a step back at practice today and kind of lighten the load for these guys, and he said that is not because of all the injuries. He just senses that he needs to pull back a little bit. They'll go hard tomorrow, so he needed to change up the practice schedule a little bit. But he did open the press conference, Bray, by saying, I don't know about the injuries. I don't know. I got nothing for you. I'll know more tomorrow, but today I got nothing for you. So nobody really asked about the injuries because, you know, he walks up to the podium and says, "Don't ask me about the injuries," because I don't know. I don't know, and I feel this is my own, not coming from a place of reporting or any knowledge at all. It feels like the Montgomery injury is a big one, as in multiple weeks, as in maybe even multiple months.
Yeah, you know, you're really good with your feelings as it relates to reading Dan Campbell. I remember when you talked about something there when he was talking about Jameson Williams, and this is before we knew about the gambling situation. You said something's going on with he and J-Mo, and we were like, you know, we'll just figure it out. And it ended up being something major. So when it comes to Dan Campbell, how he's at the podium, I do trust you. He's frustrated. Now he's frustrated. Like, they're playing amazing good ball on offense, on defense. They're getting to where they really want to be as a team. They're 5-1 after 6 games, but they keep having guys go down. Jahmyr Gibbs has been injured. You haven't had a chance to grow him as a young player. Brian Branch, we saw what he did in small sample size, but now he's been down as a player. Amon-Ra St. been down. Like, it's not just guys going down. It's the guys that are going down, and eventually you're starting to think, man, if another guy goes down, we won't be able to be that team that's outmatching everybody and that's dominating everybody. So you don't want to talk about it. Plus, there really isn't new information. So I think that was his way of, one, showing you he's a little frustrated. 2, if you can be insightful like you are, you realize that injury to David Montgomery and what David Montgomery can do for the Detroit Lions, what he has done when he's in that lineup. He's a huge miss on this roster right now. So he's just frustrated because everything is going right, but these freaking injuries, it's like the one thing that the Detroit Lions can't control is the thing that's starting to eat them a little bit. And look, he's human. He's frustrated.
You hit it on the head, Bray. I think he's just had it. Just like we've had it. I had enough after the Seattle game. I mean, I was watching that game like I was watching a car crash. And it just keeps adding up. And it's not just outside players that are just coming in and out. These are our best players that are getting hurt. I just think he's just sick and tired of these injuries. And like we said, if you can just muddle through now get through these next 3 AFC games and get to that NFC Central, NFC North battles where you got the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. You hope to beat the living daylights out of them.
Yeah.
And just get to the end of the year and get healthy, because last year they were the healthiest team at the end of the season. That's what you want.
Yeah, and a guy like Dan Campbell, Maz, like that's a former player. He's wanting to control all things. Like players, we want to control every aspect of it. And when you sit there at a podium, and when you say the only thing that you can't fix, when you can fix something, hey, you know what? We didn't do well at getting to the quarterback. Hey, we can fix that. Hey, you know what? We didn't do well on third down. We can fix that. Hey, you know what? Our running backs, they didn't necessarily run the ball well between the tackles. We can fix that. This is the one thing, right, Ermanni, you can't fix. You can't fix injuries.
And I don't know about if you relate it to your own life too. Like, I always want to have the answer. If my wife asks me something, I always want to know the answer.
I'm a Pisces. So.
And if I don't know the answer, I'm so frustrated. And she can tell in my voice that I'm just irritated by the mere ask of the question. So I feel like Dan Campbell doesn't know the answer. So he is a little frustrated too. Let me play this for you. This was from earlier today, the media session from earlier today. Here's Dan Campbell talking about facing adversity. This team has faced adversity with all the injuries, with everything they got going on. Here's how they're attacking it.
So the core group here this is what they've been bathed in. So we talk about it, we've preached it, we've lived it, and we constantly try to put ourselves in those type of situations. We talk about it, you know, like that's when your heart rate should start to level out. When everybody, the perceived pressure goes up and it's high stress, your stress level should go down, and focus on the moment. And our guys have done a good job of that, man. They believe in that. So, and I think it's one of the reasons we're having success on the road. And but ultimately, this team is built to handle these things. I believe that. It's built to handle adversity, anything that comes. And look, this season isn't over. I mean, we know that. We're going to hit a tough patch at some point here. I don't know when it's going to be, but we're going to hit one, and we're going to have to get back through and get back on our feet, and that's fine. We'll be ready for that.
100%, this team is built for that. And Dan Campbell, Ryan, he keeps reminding his team they are built for that. You got to have some dudes. There are some dudes in this locker room. Little things that he always says, whether it's in the locker room, at the podium, to his guys, he's always reminding him, like, yeah, adversity is going to hit us. Adversity is hitting us now. But at the same time, we got some dudes in here. We're built for this. We got depth for this. We got guys that are ready to step up. So I think he's done a great job in these moments of refocusing his guys and being a leader and being a head coach. But you have to focus in the moment, and that's what they are doing a good job of. You know, whether it's having a turnover and coming back with a touchdown, whether it's not getting to the quarterback one game and getting to him the next, whether they're stopping their guys on third down so that they can win games and they don't have to let somebody's offense back onto the field. They are doing a very good job, because of the head man, of focusing in the moment.
And whether or not you see the Lions losing back-to-back games anywhere, or heaven forbid 3 of 4, Dan Campbell is kind of preparing everybody for a little bit of a, hey, you know,
a rocky stretch.
Even in 1991, you know, when we went back and looked at that, you know, I think they lost. And now the number escapes me, but after their 5-1 start, because they lost the opener and then won 5 in a row or something like that, they ended up losing like 3 of 4. So they hit a rough patch in there too. Every team goes through it. The Lions are most likely not going to be 16-1, and they're most likely probably not going to be 15-2 either. They are going to hit a rough patch. These injuries are going to catch up with them at some point. You just hope, you know, it's not some crazy elongated period. You hope they can get back on track quickly. We'll see. They haven't hit that part yet. But you feel like it's coming, don't you?
Would you be really disappointed if they lost the next 2 and went to the break at 5-3?
I would absolutely be disappointed if they lost on Monday Night Football here to an inferior team. Yes.
So 5-3, as a Lion fan, at the break.
I would feel like that's a wasted start.
Okay.
Yep.
The good news, it would definitely be a wasted start. I am 100% on the same, and I understand, Maz, the goal is to survive to a certain extent, but we no longer need to just survive. Like, the Lions have put themselves in a situation not to need just to survive. But the good news about all this is, so what, they drop a game or two here or there. Because last time I checked, Kansas City Chiefs, when they won the Super Bowl, they were not undefeated. Neither was the team before that or the team before that.
They lost to the Colts.
Exactly, or the team before that. So the good news is, any given Sunday, something can happen, whether it's lack of roster due to injuries or whatever. It can happen. But the good news is the way in which Dan Campbell is consistently talking to these guys, consistently delivering the message of focusing, next man up, and getting ahead of the curve. This game will be good. This team will be fine, and I like where they're going mentally. Because at the end, the injuries, you need those to be lessened. But the mental approach, the longer the season goes, gets harder and harder. So if you can keep their mental sharp through October, through November, through December, through January, I noticed that the teams that win, their mental is firm as well.
Hey, it's tough to play a team that you're better than, and you know you're better than them, like they did with Carolina. But they punished Carolina. And that's the difference on this team. They're not a team that is like overlooking a team. This coaching staff won't let them overlook a team. Now, the Ravens are a superb team, and they're going into Baltimore. But you might catch them at the right time, like we've been talking. They're coming this home from England over the weekend. They got to get reacclimated. Their whole schedule is thrown off. Like we said, if it wasn't for the injuries, I would really, really put my money on the Lions this week. It's going to be a tough game, but I still think they could win it.
I'm still curious to see how they play this one, because if Gibbs can play, great. They'll be fine. If he can't play, then do you use Khalif Raymond at running back? Do you use Amon-Ra St. Brown at running back? And do you just use the short passing game, and do you sling it 50 times? And those quick three-step drop passes become your run game at that point, because I love Craig Reynolds. I just don't see him carrying the ball 25 times a game.
He's not going to.
Well, and he won't have to, because you got by committee. I know Moses Ibrahim just came in, and we don't know what he's going to do. But if he's coming in as guys are injured and they're going to take him off the practice squad and potentially put him in there, he's going to get a couple carries. Craig Reynolds will get a couple carries. Jahmyr Gibbs will get a couple carries. Insert running back here that they have on staff. And, oh, by the way, Jared Goff, we saw what he was able to do last week when they needed to pass, when they needed to get it going. You know, he found us 355 yards and 2 touchdowns. So here's what Sam Laporta becomes very important. Here's where those extended handoffs to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the short flats and let him run with the football after the catch, much like Golden Tate used to do for the Detroit Lions. That's when that comes in the staff. So Ben Johnson is a guy that we believe in. Maz believes in him so much that he doesn't want to leave and go get paid next year. So the fact that we believe in Ben Johnson like that, now is the time to believe in Ben Johnson and knowing what he can do to craft a game plan for the Ravens. He's not a rookie anymore. He's a guy that is one of the best in the business. You know,
you look at what the Lions have done on the road this year too. It is this year and beyond. So they've won they're 3-0 this year. They ended last year winning 3 of their last 4 road games. Yep. So they've won 7 of their last 8 road games. This team is playing good football. By the way, just a stat about the road, not really a stat, just an observation. It's week 7 in the NFL. This is the first 1 o'clock road game for the Lions this year.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah, they played Thursday night. They played two Thursday night games, and then the 4:25 game. First 1 p.m. road game they played this year. And they'll have Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi again, too.
To what you brought up. That's their identity now. Mm-hmm. Your identity is what you represent. Your identity is when I look at when I look at what you do, what is on this paper is who you are. And Ryan, you just said, if you look at them on the road in their last 7 games, what do? They win on the road. They're becoming a team that now when they go on the road, almost expecting them to win to a certain extent. It's like, nah, we're good. Like, you're not worried about them on the road. They're a road team now. That's one of the steps that you got to have to be a championship team.
No doubt about it, guys. Here, I want to play this for you, too. This is Dan Campbell talking about that Ravens defense. So you've got the Lions' third-ranked offense going up against the Ravens' second-ranked defense. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about that second-ranked defense of the Ravens.
This is a good defense, but what's new? We've been playing really good defenses. I mean, I feel like every week we're getting tested here, and this is the next one. You know, Coach Harbaugh has done an unbelievable job for a long period of time here. Got a ton of respect for what he does. His teams are always physical and disciplined, and at both sides of the ball, all 3 phases. They don't make mistakes, and they're still that same team. They're just a little bit different in some areas. Their offense is a little bit different than what it's been. It's not this Greg Roman run game per se. I expect a little more of that. There's still plenty of it in there, but there's more drop back pass. They have skill on the outside, plus the tight end, Andrews. The O-line is a solid crew in there. And this defense is, as always, it's an aggressive defense. They have rushers, they have cover guys, and these two backers are really good. So we got our hands full.
Definitely got their hands full, but Dan Campbell talking about we've played good defenses before. And in today's NFL, Bray, what do you say about that? Just, the Lions' third-ranked offense going up against the Ravens' second-ranked defense. We grew up with the mindset that good defense beats good offense every day and then twice on Sundays. That is not the case anymore.
No, it's definitely not the case anymore. A really good offense can beat a good defense. I mean, we've seen that week in, week out. We've seen that in the Super Bowl. Hell, a great offense beat a great defense, and they actually whooped them in the second half. So a good offense, really good offense, can win. The key is staying ahead, and that's one of the reasons the Detroit Lions have been where they are this year. They've stayed ahead of the sticks. They've had 5.7 yards of carry. We talked, not per yards of carry, just 5.7 yards of play on first down. And I think that number has gone up. You've seen what they've done. They had a lot of third and shorts. They made plays on third down. And they've extended the sticks. You stay ahead of that. You put all the pressure on the other offense, not the defense. Because you start to get that defense out there a little more, Ryan. Start to keep them out there longer than they want to be out there. Keep the offense off the field. That defense gets tired. You wear them down, and then you make that offense play from behind. So they are a good defense, and Reuben Foster is a damn good player. And you got him last year from Chicago Bears.
Roquan
Smith, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying Reuben Foster. But Roquan Smith, when he's done, he's one of the tops. But that offense, they're very, 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 very chinks in the armor.
Hey, we got some pretty good linebackers here as well.
This is true.
Led by Alex Anzalone. He's not playing second fiddle to any linebacker out there. But this Baltimore defense over the years has been one of the best in the NFL. This year, so-so. The special teams, always good. Both teams. Right now, Dave Phipp has got the Lions special teams playing great. I expect the special teams of the Lions to step up in this game. I really do. Not kicker-wise, but I do on returns and punt returns, and maybe we block a punt this week or something. I just think you're going to see something big this weekend because you got to make up for what they're missing in the running in the backfield right now. You don't have David Montgomery. Jameer Gibbs is coming in off an injury, a hamstring. I don't think you're going to see a full strength for him. Craig Reynolds going to be in. Who knows? You might see Mo Abraham come up for a spell as well. So we'll find out as the week goes. Like you said, Dan Campbell says you'll know more about the injuries going on. But just keep Jared Goff up and safe, and I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're going to see something big this week. And I think it's going to be a fumble recovery for an end zone. I mean, fumble recovery for a touchdown or an interception for a touchdown. And the reason why is they've been trying to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. That's the one thing that I can say Todd Monken is kind of messing up in his system. Lamar Jackson, you understand you don't want to get him hurt like Anthony Richardson. But at the same time, man, you got to let him be who he is at some point. And they've been trying to keep him bottled up in the pocket. Detroit has a hellified defensive rush, and those guys are going to be getting after him. So he's going to be doing some scrambling. He handles the ball kind of wild like a loaf of bread, much like Shady McCoy used to. That's where you get one of those sacks, strip, fumbles that turns into a touchdown the other way. So look out for that, some fumbles in the defensive game.
Hey, they held on. They held them pretty good a couple of years ago. Lamar he didn't kill him.
No, he didn't.
He did not kill him.
Right.
And now they're better. That was indoors. This is outdoors. We'll see how the weather is, but maybe a nice sloppy game would help the Lions.
We'll pick up on that next. I do want to make a point about Dave Phipp and the Lions special teams. To me, this feels like one of those games where there's going to be a fake punt. Since Dave Phipp was hired in 2021, the Lions are 7 of 8 on fake punts. 87% clip. Only one time since Dave Phipp has been special teams coach of the Lions have they failed on a fake punt attempt.
I'm feeling it.
4 of those fake punts have come via rushes. The other 3 have come by passes from Jack Fox. So I feel that's my bold prediction in this game. There will be a fake punt by the Lions.
How about a fake field goal?
In this game. Not a fake field goal. Fake punt.
Okay.
Fake punt. I'm being very specific there. You mentioned that Lions game from a couple of years ago. We'll hear what Dan Campbell had to say about that one as he revisited that in the media session today. Let me tell you, though, about Woodward nights, 8 to 10 p.m., Weeknights here on Woodward Sports YouTube channel. It's Booner and Broder every night. Two up-and-coming hot take guys. They got all the sports takes that you could have, that you want, live 8 to 10 each and every weeknight. Booner and Broder, Woodward Nights on WSN's YouTube channel. Now, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month and no commitment. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness nearby. So find one today, join today, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey, when it comes to your pet, you do not want to settle. Give your pet the best. That's why Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 Metro Detroit locations. And they've got over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices in town and curbside delivery if you want it. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com.
They had some great advice, too, to keep your pets safe on Halloween, keep them away from the dangerous candy. And, of course, those pets have a lot of anxiety, too. Yeah. People coming to the door, knocking on the door, and all that good stuff. The game was September 26th, 2021. It was Dan Campbell's first year. They were 0-2 facing Baltimore in Week 3. And then the end of the game happened. The Lions really botched.
Could have won that game.
The end of the game. They kicked a field goal. Ryan Santoso, what's his name? Santoso, yeah, with a 35-yard field goal to take the lead, 17-16. But then a 3rd and 13 play. The Lions got a sack to set up 4th and 19. And it was Lamar Jackson to Sammy Watkins for 36 yards on the sidelines, setting up a 66-yard attempt from Justin Tucker, and the game was over.
You mean after the 30-second clock ran out?
After the clock? Yes, after that, too, which would have been a 71-yard field goal.
That ball and his shoe is in the NFL Hall of Fame. I happened to catch it that year that it went in.
Dan Campbell was asked about that game, if he ever thinks about that game, and he said no today. He said no, not until just now. But thinking about the last 3 years, that first year in particular, with all these teams getting their licks in on the Detroit Lions. Remember, the Lions started that year, and I believe they lost their first 11 games that year, if memory serves correct. They were 0-10-1, so they got a tie in there somewhere against Pittsburgh. But here's what he had to say about that.
You know, look, we're still early in this season. There's a ton of game left. We got to go earn another one here. But I know this is that when you look back and, you know, I just remember thinking over and over, it's like, you know, enjoy it now, you know, just enjoy it now. and because our time will come, and we just got to get through the hard stuff. And, and here we go, man. We got an opportunity. We're in year 3 of this program. We're 5-1, and we got to go earn the next win. So everything that happens for a reason, and it helps you grow. And if it doesn't, it's because you don't know how to grow. So we've taken our lumps, and we're going to be better for it.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it? They have learned from every experience they've had over the last 3 years, and it's really put them in a position to where they are now. I remember back to when we had Chris Spielman on with us back in 2021, and he said his goal was to not kind of like the Tom Izzo old saying, I don't want to build a team, I want to build a program.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Chris Spielman said. We don't want a team. We want a program that you can just keep reloading, and that's what the Lions are doing right now so far through 6 weeks.
I felt Dan Campbell in that moment where he was talking about, he looked at that, game was over, and he's looking at Pete Carroll, and he's like, not Pete Carroll, he's looking at John Harbaugh, he's looking at Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, he's like, enjoy that. I remember my freshman year at Michigan, since it's that week anyway, losing to Michigan State on the infamous Spartan Bob game and the clock, and I just remember like just losing at Spartan Stadium, just being like, it's my freshman year, it's my first experience. It's all right, this is cool. I didn't play this year. We'll see what happens when I play next year and the rest of the year. So I never lost to Michigan State again. But I feel that energy in terms of we're going to build this thing the right way, and they have. They built it the right way. They built it through the draft. They built it by the players that they believe in, the players that they have, the coaches that they want to coach their guys, and they're building it the right way. They built it the right way. It's fun, man. It's fun to watch. But Dan Campbell and his guys, man, he took the long way. He said, it's okay. We're going to do things the right way, and every step by step, day by day, they've gotten better.
Hey, man, that's life, right? We're so
step by step. Right?
It's like I would say most of us are. They look at. You don't see what's right here in front of you. You don't really enjoy the ride. I know I'm at fault for this. Enjoy the ride is what he is saying. He's looking at where he was and where he is now, and he's like, man, we're 5-1. We're 5-1. We got to go out and earn the next one. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy that we were 5-1. Right now, because we were 0-3 back then, looking at 0-10-1 down the barrel. We competed in a lot of those games. Right now, all that competition is coming to fruition. It's coming into wins now. And now the Lions are in the spot that Baltimore might have been in 3 years ago. They're on the upswing. Baltimore, I'm not so sure if they're on the upswing anymore. Enjoy the ride, guys. The Lion fans, enjoy it.
And then for Dan Campbell too, man, it's like he's one of those guys, man. He really takes the time to watch the wave, as he says, kind of understand where he's been and where he is now, if you will. It's one thing when you win as a player, Ryan, and I can only imagine what I'm about to say, but it's one thing when you win as a player. It's another thing when you're a coach. It's another thing when you coach guys. It's another thing when you start developing these relationships with guys. You now want to win more as a coach because now you want to win for them. Because if you win as a coach, then your players win as well. And I think that's the part of him as being a former player that's a coach as well, just kind of, watching it all happen and making sure that he's enjoying it as well at the same time getting better. Is these are his guys. These guys play for him. And when he wins, they win, and so on and back and forth. He doesn't want to let these guys down, and he doesn't realize he could never let his guys down, but he doesn't want to, and that's why he's looking at where he was, and he's looking at where they are going.
So every morning at about 7 a.m., Inky Johnson has a post for the day. Inky Johnson, former University of Tennessee volunteer player, friend of the show. He's been on our show before. Was going to be a first-round draft pick and had a life-altering injury on the football field where it left one of his arms paralyzed. And instead of going in the tank, he went out on the circuit. I mean, he is out there. He is motivational speaker and all this stuff. So every morning, 7 a.m.-ish, he'll post a video out less than a minute long. It doesn't take you anything, but it helps start your day kind of in the right direction. One of the things he talks about is the process. Just going back to what you said, Maz, it's about enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
And part of what Inky talks about is the process is if you believe in your process, whatever you're doing, maybe it's a sales call, maybe it's whatever you're doing, even if the results don't come right away, if you stay true to what you know and stay true to the values stay true to the process that you're working towards, those results will come. And if Dan Campbell isn't the epitome of that, stay true to that process of those showing up every day at 10-1 and still working. And then winning a couple of games at 1-6, staying true to the process. And then ultimately the results did start coming, and now look where they are, one of the top 5 teams in the NFL by all accounts. I mean, most people, you put up any board, and the Detroit Lions are first, second, third, fourth, or fifth in the entire NFL. And that is because Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, Sheila Hamp, Chris Spielman, Rod Wood, they have all stayed true to this process, and they always believed that the results were going to come. This is the epitome of what Inky Johnson says every morning when I look at it, and talking about uplifting your people. He talks about uplifting. A true leader will put their people before themselves. And what did Dan Campbell even say yesterday? Came to the podium and he's talking about the injuries, this, that, and the other thing. Well, we got to give Brad Holmes credit for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's giving proper attribution to the people who are earning it. This team is somebody that you can get behind for sure. I love this team.
Yeah, 100% definitely takes a village, and that's what they're doing. The village mentality that they have, man, and they're working all towards a common goal, and they're working the right way. I mean, you look at it, and you said you hit the nail on the head. Look at the journey of Dan Campbell. I mean, 3-13-1 year one. You're talking about 0-11 or 0-11-1, if you will. Then the next year, 1-6. How many teams would just start it over? Like, how many teams would, or even if the coach didn't get fired, how many coaches would say, you know what, I got to get a whole new offensive coordinator, I got to get a whole new defensive coordinator, we got to change this around? They would have panicked in that situation, and it goes to what you said, just stay in the course. No, we got the right idea. We got this. We just got to tweak a couple things here or there. We'll make some tweaks along the way, but we'll keep the same ideology, and that's hard to do. You got to give a lot of credit for that.
Hey guys, 2 shows for the Lions Insiders weekly. On Tuesdays, they go from 7 to 8. On Sundays, 8 to 9. Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and the legend Terry Foster are the Lions Insiders. They'll host the show, Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show, right here twice a week on WSN's YouTube channel. You want to have some fun? If the playoffs started today, guess what the Lions would be doing? They would be hosting the Seattle Seahawks in round 1 of the NFL playoffs. The Lions would actually have the 3 seed facing the 6-seeded Seattle Seahawks, the Bucks at 4, and the 5 seed would be Dallas. And look at those Rams. Remember I told you about those Rams?
2 wild cards.
I told you about those Rams. They would get the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, San Francisco is 1, Philadelphia is 2, and Detroit is 3 based on tiebreakers, even though they have the same record. Pretty fun stuff.
It is. Always good to look. We'll look at it every week.
Man, doesn't it seem like we just have this rivalry all of a sudden in the last, I would say, 8 years with the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, and they've gotten the best of us.
Yes. Pete Carroll since 2009 is 7-1 against the Lions. I didn't bring that up for
Amazing.
that. But it just seems like a rivalry. And I think it started in my mind watching that game that was in Seattle with the Calvin Johnson punch-out by Cam Chancellor.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't call it a touchdown or didn't call it down at the 1. They called it a safety, and it kind of like that's when I think it really started. I started watching. Then I played against the doggone Lions. I mean, then I lost.
That was the loss.
That was the one loss.
Yeah.
But no, it does seem like they have a rivalry. It's like whenever you hear the Lions in playoffs, somehow Seattle's name floats around there.
Just can you put that back up for 1 second? I just would like to direct people to the left side of the page.
Yeah.
And I know there's a long way to go. But the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns are on that list for wild cards. Just saying, keep an eye out for those two. Pittsburgh, I can't see Pittsburgh making it.
Right now, mathematically, they'll make it. I think they'll shoot themselves in the foot a few times.
Yeah, I think
going forward.
I think Cincinnati will have something to say about Pittsburgh.
So.
No doubt about it.
There's your left side.
Yeah, there's your left side of it. All right, very good, guys. All right.
Thanks, Parker.
Absolutely. When we come back, guys, Dan Miller, top of the hour. When we come back next, I want to play for you what Dan Orlovsky had to say about the Detroit Lions and their Goff-fence. Get it? See what I did there?
I like that.
But first, a message from the Hamlin Pub.
Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Join Woodward Sports for the Lions postgame show live from Hamlin Pub on Tyneken Road this Sunday. Maz and more will be there to break down the Lions versus Ravens game. We will see you for our live show from Hamlin Pub on Tyneken Road this Sunday. Experience your favorite new pub for all things sports. Hamlin Pub. It's Hamlin Pub where everyone, and we mean everyone, is a regular.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest
Sign
friends
me
and
up.
live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. You can drink it. You can also live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win. Register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself with Cintron. You can go to the website drinkcintron.com/Vegas for that $100,000 Vegas getaway.
How about that, everybody? Absolutely. Woodward Sports Network coming up in about 12 minutes from now. We'll talk to Dan Miller. I did want to play for you what Dan Orlovsky had to say about the Detroit Lions
Dano.
and Jared Goff and their offense. Some are calling it Goffense.
Twitter, his ex.
This is from his ex situation there. Now, it's rather long.
Why'd they break up?
So we may, yes, I get it, but we may play it and then stop it and talk about it. But here it is for you here. Just Danny
Enjoy.
about the Lions. Enjoy it.
I thought Matthew Stafford left Detroit. How about Jared Goff with the no look? It's one of the best throws I've seen Jared make. One of the best plays I've seen Jared make. High leverage situation. So the Detroit Lions are up 4, third quarter. They got 3rd and 4. Okay, so they go ball on left hash. Formation into the boundary. Watch how all this stuff gets strung together and matters. Formation into the boundary, meaning passing strength is into the boundary. We go bunch into the boundary, cut split by the tight end, and they're really just going to run spot to the bottom of the screen. They go spot with the tight end and a flat with the back. That's the read, really, as number 1. You want to see these guys at the same time. That flat defender out leverages the back, nope, and he gets matched on that spot route. Can't do anything with it. Now, Jared comes back, and now look at this backer. You have a flat route, a spot route, and then a basic route. You're throwing it off this guy. Look at Jared, because Jared, I guarantee you, feels this defender match, so he's like, middle of the field is going to be open, right? Jared's going to look to the spot route. Look at that peek. Look to the spot route. Rip the in-breaking route to Amon-Ra. Look at from the back angle. Look at him. Bang. Now, this guy's they've got to pay attention to, okay? Watch. Look at Jared's helmet. No look. Look at it. The no look. Hand in the face. Watch. Watch him get matched. That's all because Jared peeks that way. Boom. That is so good by Jared Goff. Then let's go to another third down. This is what I talk about when plays get strung together. Third quarter, 4:22. This is awesome. Again, 3rd and 11. All right, 3rd and 11. Watch this. We get what we call the dagger concept. We talked about it a lot. We have the run through, the big end, and the shallow. Shallow guy, Raymond, absolutely off the charts good, smarts. Look at, so we teach this as green grass, no green grass so often. What that means is when you're running this shallow cross, you're looking to this side of the field. If there is green grass, meaning no defender there, keep running, okay? Let's flush it through. We're gonna read this guy. If there's a defender there, let's sit it down. We wanna sit it down around the hash, and then Jared, you're gonna throw off of that inside defender. Now, the next level is this. Listen to the football. Raymond, where does he throw it to you? He throws it to your inside shoulder. Turn and go get the first down. Look at the first down marker. Turn and go get the first down. Boom. You think that yard doesn't matter there? He gets the first down by half a yard. That's why listening to the ball matters. Look at it from this angle. Watch the receiver, listen to the football, okay? Look at Jared, throw it on his inside shoulder. Boom. Gosh, that's so good, man. Now, why does all of that matter? How does it actually get strung together, Dan? Well, let's go to third quarter, same drive, 3:27, okay? We'll go to third down, 3rd and 10. Jamison Williams, welcome back. Big pylon touchdown. Another tremendous read by Jared Goff. You've got the pylon and you've got the deep out. It's a 3-level throw. 1, 2, 3. What's this corner do? Okay, we've already won leverage off the safety because of the concept of the bunch. Safety's going to get stuck inside. What's this guy do? If he goes back to the pylon, we throw that deep out or that shallow off that guy. This guy's nosy, low, trust his speed. Just launch it down the field. Boom. Well done.
Yeah, that's some high level. That's some high level elite stuff right there. That's a master class. Like Dan, shout out to the class of 05, which he was in. Master class, Stores, Connecticut, aka University of Connecticut. But no, that's a master class of what he's talking about in Jared Goff and the ability to be able to lead his wide receivers, the ability to be able to use everything he has as mechanics to get linebackers, get safeties, to go where he wants to. And the first throw, it was so quick, it was so subtle. He opens up this way, makes the safety go this way. Now, he gives a quick look on this angle. Now the safety has to respect that. So he has to go on that. And as he's still on that angle, throws it on this angle. Like that's, like he said, that's one of the best routes I've ever seen Jared Goff throw when you break it down like that. But the thing I love, too, is when he said, listen to the football. And what he means by that is ball placement. We as wide receivers are trusted to go where the quarterback throws the ball. That's where we know where it is. So if the quarterback leads us, and man, as I'm running, he leads me this way, I'm supposed to catch the ball because he's leading me to where I'm supposed to go. You see how he threw the ball upfield? The receiver turned and went upfield and caught it. He instantly knows to go this way. If you see a defender coming, and you like, even in yourself, like, why is he throwing it behind me? He's trying to protect you from getting hit. He's now putting his wide receivers in positions to think and make plays on their own. Like, this is dope.
You know,
that is well said.
For somebody that's done that, look, I'll never be able to decipher. Look at.
Thank God we have our English professor here.
Exactly. Like, I'll never be like. Right. I'll never, as much as I watch football, I will never be able to look at that play.
But you know it's damn good.
Exactly. But now when you see that, one of the things that comes to mind with me is just being a layperson here talking about football.
Yep.
You know, we talk about, oh, well, this guy doesn't have a good coach. This guy doesn't have a good coach. This player's not good. This coach sucks. This, that, and the other thing. That was the player. Jared Goff made that play. Jared Goff made that play by just that simple turning his head for 2 seconds, looking that defender off, and hitting Amon-Ra St. Brown in the middle. The play was designed the way it was designed. And if Jared Goff didn't look that defender off, he probably would have thrown an interception.
One of the reasons he was named Offensive Player of the Week.
And again, you as somebody that, again, doesn't have the knowledge that Dan O or you have, you know, we sit here and we look at that. So is it the player? Is it the coach? Or is it just a combination of the two? The play was set up, but Goff made the play. If he doesn't look, that ball gets picked off.
I'm so glad you said it is a combination of both. It's a combination of both, but they both deserve great credit for it. And the reason why Ben Johnson, you know what he does? You know his part in the play. One, he sets the play up. He sets it to Jared Goff's strength. He sets the play up. Two, he gives him that little bit in practice, that little bit before the game. Hey, just let it go. Trust yourself. That little bit of confidence that Jared Goff has gotten back in the last year and a half and has played amazingly well. Hey, Jared, trust yourself. Trust what you know. Like when you say trust what you know, now the credit that Jared Goff deserves, he's number one overall quarterback, playing like a number one overall quarterback. He's using his skill, his talent set that Ben Johnson only just helped him to remember how good he was and get a little bit better. That was him that did that. He gave the little bit of jerk, just enough to move that guy, move him here, and then get the throw in there. They're working in unison. They both deserve equal credit. Jared Goff deserved the credit for being able to do it at a high level, and Ben Johnson deserves the credit for setting up the play, but then also reminding him before the game starts, hey, 16, you know you that guy, right? So now 16 goes in the game, and he does that and makes it look flawless.
Yeah, look, and I've been watching football since 1970 intently, but now with the way these guys break plays down for you, I can't. I smile ear to ear when I'm watching them, and I'm like almost laughing, and I get the chills because it's my team. That's why we put these on the show, and the chat is loving what Dan O says, what Brian Baldinger says. We love when these guys are breaking this stuff down. Back in the old days, we go, oh, who the hell wants to watch that? Now, man, it's phenomenal. I'm sorry. I know you laughed at me, Ryan. I have been watching it for a long time. I love football so much. But when I see Dan Orlovsky, Brian Baldinger break this stuff down, Braylon talk about what they're talking about and what they're trying to do, it makes me love it even more.
And I'm glad you showed that highlight, Ryan, is it took me back to being a player. Like, I don't watch film from I only watch game copies now. Every once in a while, I watch Baldinger, see him break something down, or I'll see something during the game. But I'm not watching the end zone copy. I'm not watching the team copy, if you will, or really breaking it down on that level, watching the back copy, the end zone copy, seeing the plays line up. I'm just watching it on TV. To watch that clip and the breakdown again took me back to my days playing. That's definitely some high-level stuff.
No doubt. And we'll play some Baldy for you because he had some things on JMO, too.
Yeah.
It calls him a comet.
Yeah.
Calls him a comet.
And he loves that defense.
Oh, man. Starting with Alex Anzalone. Let me just say this, too, just to put a bow on Jared Goff and what the Lions are doing offensively. The Lions rank second in the NFL with 32 plays of 20 yards or more. You know the only team that has more explosive plays than them?
Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. In the entire NFL.
Damn good.
So it's not like the Lions are out there. Jared Goff's got this great completion percentage. He's
taking
67.
no chances. Yeah.
It's not like he's dinking and dunking to the running back. I mean, he's going down the field. 32 plays of 20 yards or more. The Detroit Lions, 29 pass plays, only behind the Miami Dolphins.
Kyle Shanahan third?
6 plays, LA Rams. 6 plays, Miami has exceeded Detroit only by 6.
Ben Johnson's right up there, man.
I'm telling you,
he's right up there with Mike McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay.
I know the 70 spot that Miami put up, skewed a lot of these things, but the Detroit Lions are right there with the Miami Dolphins when it comes to explosive.
And a lot of that, let's be honest, a lot of that is Tyreek Hill at yards after catch.
Yep.
A lot of that is Jalen Waddle yards after catch. A lot of that is getting the ball to the running back, Ack Shane, or Raheem Mostert yards after catch. A lot of Jared Goff's yards are him actually throwing the ball down the field.
No doubt about it, guys. Go blue or go green. It's Woodward Sports Network. Great divide viewing party. Sit back, crack open a cold one. Line up your bets and tune in to watch the Battle of the Paul Bunyan Trophy with your favorite Woodward Sports personalities. It's this Saturday, starts at 7:30. Enjoy the Woodward Sports Live Watch Game Party live on our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports. Braylon will tell you about Feldman, though.
I definitely will. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer with 18 locations. There's a Feldman dealership near you. And if you want to find out, visit FeldmanAuto.com. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class service car buying experience. And it's called the Feldman Advantage. Take advantage today.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey guys, let me talk to you about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You can buy it, you can rent it, 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com. It is a Wednesday, hour number 2 of the program. We appreciate everybody along with us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Coming up on 55,000 subscribers. We just crossed over 53,000 subscribers, so pretty darn good there. Good stuff. It is time now to be joined by Dan Miller, Fox 2 Sports Director, the voice of the Lions. Again, you can watch us, by the way, on fox2detroit.com and the Fox Local app. Dan, how you doing, buddy?
What do you say, fellas? How you doing?
Hey,
Doing
Dan.
good.
What's up, D?
Now, Dan, do you have to dig deep on your game board to see who's playing on any given week? I mean, David Montgomery goes down. You're like, who's this guy coming out on the field now?
Yeah, I mean, we looked up and we saw Divino Zigbo in the game this past week, so that was one, that we had seen during the preseason. So, yeah, I mean, you definitely are trying to keep up with it, but that's all over the league, man. I mean, guys are coming out and going back in, and I mean, I think the one thing that they've done that's really important and has helped things and is much different than when Braylon played is that 4-week IR. I mean, it's just, look, guys get injured and can come back, and it's in the best interest of the players and teams and fans that they have that opportunity. Not like the old days where, you went on IR and you were done for the year, or you went on IR and you were done for 8 or 10 weeks or something like that. So I think it's really helped everybody to be healthier and to have an opportunity to be the best possible team you could be.
Yeah, I forgot about those. That you're absolutely correct. When I played, I had staph infection in my elbow, had surgery, and I had to try to rush back because if I wouldn't have made it past that pup, when it was that 6-week period or 4-week period, then I would have had to go on IR, and I was perfectly capable to play. So I missed those good old days. Hey, here's a quick question. Thoughts as soon as you see Jameson Williams catch the touchdown in the end zone, just first thing that goes through your mind?
That's what he's capable of doing, and that's what we're waiting for. And that's, I think it was just like a relief to everybody. That's my initial thought is, way to go, man. That's what you're here for. You're a game-changing player. And it was great to see that. But I think, bigger picture, Braylon, it was just a release of pressure because we've all been talking about him so much. And he has the drop last week, and there's a couple of good blocks, and it's like this constant conversation about is he, isn't he, what is he, what's he capable of, and breaking down every rep in training camp. Who he had a drop there, is he catching it with his body, is he catching it with his hands? Man, just play. Just go out there and do what you're capable of doing and play. And what he's capable of doing is just turning the defense on its ear with that speed. And just seeing him finish a play was huge, and you hope that I think Dan Campbell's approaching it the right way and just saying, get a little bit better this week and a little bit better the next week. And before you know it, he's pretty darn good. So just looking for consistency. And I know that's the top end of it. But what I really want to see is the route he dropped last week, little crossing route where you see him full stride catching a ball, middle of the field, and can really use that speed. I think that's where we're going to see some really explosive stuff.
D-Mills, I agree. Here's a quick piggyback to that. The guy that threw him that touchdown pass, Jared Goff, named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. just talk about what he was able to do in the passing game. The running game wasn't there for the guys. David Montgomery gets injured. Jahmyr Gibbs isn't there. It's not there. But he goes out and finds 355 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about him just finding it when they needed it.
Yeah, and that game was closer than I think a lot of people, kind of remembered an hour after it was over. I mean, that's a 3-3 game deep into the second quarter. And it's a 4-point game deep into the third quarter. And it's right there. And the Lions defense is kind of holding Tampa Bay off, as one possession could have really made a difference. But look, to your point about Goff, some days are like that. And some days you're relying on your defense, but you also need your offense to find just some way to get it going. It's not going to be a day where you have balance. I think they kept running the ball enough that Tampa Bay had to at least respect that they were going to try, but there wasn't much production there. And then he got the passing game going with a couple of big plays. Look, the Amon-Ra was a 3rd and 13, I think.
Yep.
The Jamison was 3rd and 10. They also converted a 3rd and long to Josh Reynolds and a 3rd and long to Khalif Raymond. So, there are some big plays in there that kept the drive going, kept the football in their hands, kept it out of Baker Mayfield's hands. Let's face it, Mayfield missed a couple of plays in that game too that helped him. But I think every game you have like that where it's not perfect, but you just figure out a way, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, whatever it is, I think just you put it in your back pocket and it gives you confidence that when you get into a tough spot the next time you can figure out a way out of it. But it also goes to just the fact that this guy is playing at an incredibly high level, and he has been now for the better part of a year and a half, going back to last season.
Hey, Dan, just a question about the running game right now with David Montgomery down, and it could be a while. Jahmyr Gibbs coming in off a hamstring. We talked about the practice squad guys that they running in and out. Mo Ibrahim, they just signed him. The trade deadline's coming up. I know there's a couple spots that you might want to look for. Defensive back, perhaps, maybe another lineman, and maybe a running back now. Do you think the Lions will dip in and do something at the trade deadline, which is coming up?
I kind of get the sense they will. I kind of get the sense, look, if somebody's selling something off that makes sense, and I think you touched on, some positions that they might look at, be it a defensive back, an offensive line depth, whatever it is. I don't know if a running back is on their shopping list. I think they feel decent about it, and we don't really know where Demo is and how long he's going to be out. If they think he's going to be back after the Monday night game against the Raiders, and then you got to bye and you got some time to get better, I think they'll feel pretty good about that. But look, I don't think Brad Holmes has ever been scared to pull the trigger on something, and I think he's going to be exploring anything that's available out there from other teams that makes sense for a team that I think they believe has the ability to go very deep in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So I think you're trying to fortify for the regular season, you're trying to fortify against injury, and you're trying to maximize your opportunity that you have to maybe do something special this year. So doesn't mean they get something done. I think that depends on the price. It always takes two there.
Yep.
But I absolutely 100% believe that they will be taking phone calls and making phone calls if it can help their team going forward, and they'll be proactive in trying to do that.
Hey, Dan, let me ask you about this defense and Aaron Glenn specifically. They've played 6 games so far this year. 4 of those opponents were held to 20 or less. And, the Panthers scored a garbage touchdown with under 2 minutes to go in the game. Otherwise, it would have been 5 opponents to 20 points or less. What are they doing defensively so different this year? I guess it kind of was true at the end of last year as well. But, man, if you hold a team to under 20 in this league, you have a shot to win that football game.
Yeah, and 2 games where they haven't allowed a touchdown, which is pretty, in this league, to not allow a team find the end zone one time in a game is pretty significant. And they held the Falcons, and then they held the Bucs to 6 points in these 2 games so far this season. Look, number one, first and foremost, they're doing what every coach tells you they want to do. They're stopping the run, which then puts the onus on the quarterback to make some plays. They're better at getting after the passer. And even with the injuries they've had in the secondary, they are clearly better in the secondary than they have been in the past. Now, that could be a byproduct of being better at getting after the quarterback, but whatever it is, it's better. And I think that, it's something that Braylon could probably speak to, but it's something that we hear from the coaches all the time. I think they trust their system, and I think they trust each other. And when you trust the guy next to you, you're not going to try to go do something else because you think it has to be done. You're going to believe he's going to do his job, and the guy over there is going to do his job. So you just do your job, and normally that works out better in football because when guys start freelancing, you can run into a lot of problems, in particular on defense, because you're going to leave something open, and I think that's what happened to the Lions quite a bit. Look, they're just better. You've seen young guys take a step. Aleem McNeil's had some of his best games this year as a Lion, and that's been big for them. Hutch has taken another step up. There's just guys, young players, not necessarily young, but Alex has been terrific this year, was really good in coverage this past week, has put up the tackle numbers. Derek Barnes has played good football. Campbell got a decent number of snaps this past week playing good football. I think Cam Sutton has been absolutely terrific for this team. He's been exactly what they hoped he'd be when they signed him, and he was their prime target in free agency. So, look, guys are just playing well, but go back to this, stopping the run. Because if a team can run the ball on you, they kind of got you where they want you. And that's been the case here for a number of years leading up to this season. That, to me, is the biggest change. I don't even know where they are this week, if they're number 1, 4, or whatever.
Still one, I think.
Up and down a little bit. Yeah, that's really impressive. And any coach will tell you, and you guys have heard it for a lifetime, that's where you want to start, and they've done that.
Hey, Dan, I'm glad you brought up Cam Sutton. The guy's been, as you say, pretty much a godsend. They signed 4 free agents, big-name free agents in the offseason. Sutton, Mosley, Gardner-Johnson, and David Montgomery. 3 of those guys are hurt. Cam Sutton has been as steady as anybody. What do you... When you're in the building or when you see Cam Sutton, what's his presence like? Because he's a guy that kind of just seems like he fits this city. You come in, put your helmet on, do your work, and go home.
Big time presence. A guy who knows how to talk about the game, and I think teammates respect him and have from day one. Look, he's from Pittsburgh, which I think brings respect. That is a respected organization. He's played in big games, being with the Steelers. And he's come right in here and played at a high level here. We don't sometimes call his name a lot because I don't think a lot of times they've been trying him. And I think he's just done a great job. He's also not afraid at all to come up and support the run. He's done a great job there, and I think that's been a big part of this team's success too, is it's not just the guys in the box. It's Jerry Jacobs, it's Cam Sutton, it's your safeties, it's Tracy Walker, handing out some big hits, Kirby Joseph, whoever it is. Those guys have all done it. But look, there's definitely a presence about Cam Sutton, and I think they knew that when they signed him. You spend any time talking to him at all, and you understand that there's leadership there, there's experience there, and there's a lot of snaps there in high leverage situations under bright lights that this team needed to kind of help young guys move along and understand what that means and what it is to perform in those situations.
Hey, Dan, last thing. We all, at the start of the season, you look at the schedule, you do your win-loss, and this was one of those weeks that all 3 of us in here look, Lions at Baltimore, loss. And I think a lot of Lions fans might look at that game on the schedule before the season started and said, oh, they're going to Baltimore, they're going to lose. That's not the case anymore. This team believes they can beat anybody, anywhere. They won 3 road games this year, and I believe it's 6 of the last 7 road games dating back to last year.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you will win, but I think the feeling is that this team, if they go out and play their game, is capable of beating anybody. And, you can talk about Philadelphia or San Francisco or whatever, and maybe people think they're better, and they may be better. But I don't think the difference with this Lions team and other Lions teams in the past was, I think we would list a number of things that had to happen before they could win a big game. I think now we go in and we just say, you know what? If they play the way they're capable of playing, the defense we've seen them play to date, play clean, don't turn the ball over, haven't lost the turnover battle yet in one of these road victories. That's a big key, and that'll be a big key this week. Play the way they're capable of playing, and they can be in there and play with and beat anybody. I think that's the confidence that we should all have taken from what they've done with this 5-1 start. Look, Baltimore's really good. This is going to be a tough game. Mm-hmm. And there's tough games. Dan Campbell talked about this today, and we've talked about it before. There's tough games coming one of these weeks. If it's this week, whenever it is, and there's an off day coming at some point where they're not going to play well, and maybe they figure out a way to win, or maybe they don't. But the key is don't let one turn into two. I mean, if you lose this game because Baltimore's a really good team or whatever the case is, you're coming back against the Raiders a week later and you find a way to, on a Monday night when that place is going to be lit, to come back and win. So, look, they've earned our trust, I think, with the way that they've played. And that's where I think people feel confident going into a game against a really good team like the Ravens because of the way that they've played under, some adverse circumstances on the road and at home against good teams as well.
So good, as always. D-Mill, last question, I believe, from us is, what are you most looking forward to in watching this game between the Detroit Lions on the road against the Baltimore Ravens? What is the one asset, what is one facet of this game where you are really keen on watching during this game?
Yeah, Baltimore's really been getting after the quarterback lately. I mean, they got top 5 defense, top 5 offense. So I'd say there's 2 things that I'm watching. Within that, can the Lions get a running game going against Baltimore? Because if you don't and you're one-dimensional again, that's when they can really tee off and it's going to be difficult. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but they've been getting after the quarterback and sacking the quarterback lately. I want to see how that works out. In conjunction with that, I want to see whether or not the Lions can get the running game going, assuming Gibbs is back and you got some sort of tandem of Gibbs and Reynolds in there and see if they can get that thing. On the other side, look, Lamar Jackson's Lamar Jackson, man, and he is a nightmare, and he is difficult, and he is capable of changing a game with his legs. We've seen that before. You got to figure out some way to do it because they also have weapons on the outside. Andrews is obviously terrific. Beckham has played well for them. Zay Flowers is a really good player. You got to find some way to handle these weapons. So, look, this is a really, really good test on the road against the team that thinks they can play with anybody in the AFC and has a chance to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So let's roll it out there. It's another one to kind of see how the Lions measure up, and I'm looking forward to it. There's challenges all over the field with this team, but when you get to this level, you start thinking more about the Lions and how they handle it versus worrying about the other team because if they handle it correctly, they've got a good chance to win. And that's the change that we talked about a moment ago in the thinking. It starts with you and what you're capable of. Can you attain that level? And if you can, then let's see where this thing ends up.
Amen to that. Dan, thanks so much for doing this. Again, you can watch Woodward Sports on Fox2Detroit.com and the Fox Local app every day from 2 to 4. Dan Miller, check you out later today. Fox 2 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. Thanks so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, fellas.
You got it. All right. So there's Dan Miller right there, guys. A lot of excitement about this Lions game. And don't forget, you can watch our pregame show right here, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. Jeff Iafrate and special guest host will take it from 9:30 to 11:30 with all the pregame information that you want to know to get you set for the big game, Lions and Ravens, Sunday, right here on Woodward Sports YouTube channel. We got cap or no cap. We got that today as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Caleb Williams. There's a report on Caleb Williams wanting something that no player has.
That might be in cap or no cap.
That might be in cap or no cap. I want to get to that too. But first, a message from Swiss.
Yes, Swiss Insurance. Do you have football on the brain like us? Of course you do. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year has already been awesome. Fall also is a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN. They should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Detroit's new play, the practice party and play is 5-Iron Golf, located downtown the Cambria Hotel. Sim rentals, lessons, leagues, bar, and restaurant. And on Thursdays, that's right, on Thursdays, we do the league. It's the Woodward Sports Golf League, 5 to 7. Let that lead you into Thursday Night Football. You can play on these brand new TrackMan simulators, 13 in total, all the courses around the world, so you can play your favorite courses. Come on down, have a good time. 5-Iron Golf.
Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday. Beautiful fall day out there, October 18th. The Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Tom Mazaway. We got Parker, we got JB. It is Tom. We do this every Wednesday. It's cap or no cap. Basically, if you're new to the show, it is a 2023 version of true or false. The kids don't walk around saying, oh, that's true, or yeah, that's false. No, they say cap. No cap.
My kids literally.
That's cap.
It's part of their language.
Right.
Lily especially. Oh, she's talking to her sister. Oh, that's cap.
That's false.
Yeah. That's cap.
That's
cap.
That's no cap. That's
so
true.
cap.
No cap. True. Cap. False.
Yes.
So Parker's going to read a statement for us, and we will say whether something is cap, false, or no cap, true.
All right, so we're going to start off with the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs will have over 100 total yards this weekend. Cap or no cap?
That's cap. It's not even.
That's
cap.
That's big cap.
Big time cap.
That's big cap.
Big time cap.
That's big cap. Still think they're trying to get him implemented into the system. I think they're trying to figure that out, trying to figure out where he fits best, what plays are working for him, where he's comfortable with being right now. I think a lot of being a rookie is being comfortable, and I think that's what they're trying to figure out, his comfortability with the offense.
Amen to that.
I got no cap. I think he breaks out this week.
Really?
I think he's been rested. I think they're holding their cards. I think Dan Campbell's a great poker player. I'm saying Jahmyr Gibbs is over 100 yards in rushing and catching the ball this week against the Ravens, and he's going to score his first touchdown.
Good for you, Jack.
If you're right, we got to rewind this because you're very profound when you said that.
I'm feeling it.
I believe you.
I'm feeling it.
Like the father.
Let's play some poker. Let's go.
Next question. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will rush for over 100 yards this weekend.
That's cap. That's cap. History's on my side. Lions have played 6 games so far this season. They have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. They're certainly not going to allow a quarterback to do that. That is cap.
Are you saying the Ravens
just as a total team?
Oh yeah, I'll say that's no cap, because I think the Ravens will have to try. They'll have some surprise runs because of the passing game. I don't think the passing game for Lamar Jackson is going to work this week against the Detroit Lions. So I think there will be some runs implemented in there, some get you off setting kind of runs. So yeah, but nothing crazy. When I say over 100, like 110.
I'm going to go no cap as well. Yeah. I think the streak will break this week, but not by much.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson will get most of those yards because I don't believe
he's gonna need to.
I don't believe in Justice Hill and the rest of Gus Edwards, and I don't think they're going to do it. I'm more worried about Lamar Jackson, so I'll say 111 yards. I'll go $1 more than Braylon.
Little Price is Right.
Little Price is Right. Action.
What you got, Ryan in mind?
That's a cap.
Oh, it's cap. Okay.
That's a cap.
It's cap.
Ain't no way it ain't happening.
Ain't no way.
That's a cap.
That's a fugazi.
That's a cap.
That's a fugazi. It's a fugazi.
So we're going to go to college football. So something interesting happened in Vegas recently with Caleb Williams. His Heisman odds went from plus 360 to plus 3,000, just like that. He had a pretty poor game. Cap or no cap, Michael Penix Jr. will win the Heisman Trophy.
You kind of like hit us with like Caleb and then switched it to like Michael Penix.
I was giving context to it.
I got you. You should have said it's Caleb Williams going to finish that low.
How about the field will win the Heisman?
Penix. That's a good one.
How about that? The field will win the Heisman.
I think it's going to come down to 2 people. And you know those 2 people, Ryan Ermanni is screaming one's going to win the Heisman. And I actually put a bet in that J.J. McCarthy was going to win the Heisman. about 12 o'clock today. So I think it'll be between JJ and Michael Penix.
I've taken so much grief, and I'm not saying he's going to be on there yet, but
I never gave you grief.
You did, but I take a lot of grief from my JJ situation. We should have saved this to last because I want to do this in the next segment. Let me just tell you.
Then why don't you save it?
We'll save it. I'll say that's cap. I'll take the field then for the question.
I'll say no cap. Caleb Williams has got way too much press, way too much swagger. He'll bounce back against some of the weaklings, and he'll pump up his stats. He'll win the Heisman.
I do think
it doesn't mean USC is going to win anything, though.
I do think Caleb Williams has to have not only a Heisman year, but a double Heisman year. Because you've got a lot of voters out there that are not going to want to give him the Heisman back-to-back years to begin with. And just so Archie Griffin doesn't have any company. So it's almost like he's got to go above and beyond what a Heisman year even looks like to win the Heisman, as far, I think, anyway.
No, I agree. And Maz, I'll just throw this out there. Remember Bryce Young won, and then last year Bryce Young had another really good year. And oh, by the way, only lost twice. And almost made it to the college. But they didn't even. They were like, nah, he's not going to win it. Like he had no chance of winning that Heisman last year after they started losing. And I think the same for Caleb. That defense is just so bad that I think they're going to lose more games. But
is Archie the only double?
He's the only one.
That's it.
They didn't let any of the young guys with it. It was no Manziel got suspended his next season. Lamar Jackson lost to Derrick Henry, I want to say. Tebow didn't win it the next year, although he had another brilliant year. Bryce Young last year. I know a little football.
All right, so 2 years ago I made the statement at this time, this very week, 2 years ago this week, I said that Aiden Hutchinson will end up having more Heisman votes than Kenneth Walker.
You did.
I was laughed off the stage.
Oh,
what
I know what's coming.
Happened?
Aiden Hutchinson had more votes. In fact, Kenneth Walker wasn't even in New York.
Aiden Hutchinson was there, ended up with more votes.
They're both terrific pros, though.
I don't know who is going to win the Heisman Trophy, but I will say this right now. J.J. McCarthy will have more Heisman votes than Caleb Williams.
Holy
That's
crow.
a fair take. I like that. No cap.
Holy
Next
crow.
question.
Book it. Write it down.
Speaking about Caleb Williams, there's a little topic that came out. I know we're going to get into it a little bit more deeper in the show. Caleb Williams will get an ownership stake in the team that drafts him, cap or no cap.
Hell no, this is the NFL. This ain't the NBA. I ain't even had to look up for that one.
Well, this is... You guys think I'm crazy here, and I know, but I speak my mind. I'm authentic. I believe this is one of the reasons why J.J. McCarthy is going to be selected above Caleb Williams. People don't want the headache. They don't want the headache. And it's not so much about Caleb Williams. He's getting bad advice.
His father.
They don't want that. You got so much investment. And that Caleb Williams is bringing whoever's giving him the advice to ask for ownership of teams and saying I'm going to go back to school if I don't like the city or the team or the organization. Caleb Williams is portraying himself right now in the media as a headache.
Prima donna.
Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with it.
I agree with you. And it's his father. His father was the one that kind of started spearheading the movement. Hey, if such and such team is on the clock at 1, we may come back to college. We may reserve our right. It reminds me of Kevin Grady's father, University of Michigan. The running back that came in right after Mike Hart. His father stayed in Ann Arbor, and his father always, I didn't hide his name. I said what his name was. It wasn't Kevin Grady. His father always had something to say. He always had a demand of Lloyd. He always had a demand of the program. Always had something to slide in. Well, if this doesn't happen, my son won't come here or my son won't do this. Turns out your son wasn't that good. But this reminds me of that energy.
So a little thing I talked about with Maz about before the show. Caleb Williams could pull an Eli Manning. He could. We've talked about this for years. I mean, national media's talked about it. Oh, Trevor Lawrence might want to not play for Jacksonville. Joe Burrow might not want to play for Cincinnati. But Caleb Williams might actually do what Eli Manning did to San Diego.
He also, Parker even brought this up. Do you think he's
purposely tanking?
You think he's tanking his?
He's doing it on purpose.
He wouldn't be tanking his pick. That'd be dumb, right?
No, I mean, I would think. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to Chicago and play with Marvin Harrison.
I don't think Chicago's going to draft a quarterback.
Well,
they're going to draft Marvin Harrison for Justin Fields and they're going to trade the other number 1 pick and get 3 more picks or a player.
First of all, quarterback. First of all, no one's that smart in college to try to tank, and first of all, that's not smart.
Yeah,
that's
no, that's dumb. I can't even believe I answered the question.
That is ridiculous.
Dumb,
yeah, that's ridiculously wrong. But the reason why somebody wouldn't want to play for the Chicago Bears, it hasn't worked in 40 years. Like, what's to make you think it's going to work on you? Like, you look at all the quarterbacks they've drafted, all the quarterbacks they've inserted, it just hasn't worked for one thing or another. I'm like, I know it's a great town, one of the best, the second city. I understand that. They just don't know what to do with a quarterback.
Right. They did go to a Super Bowl
with Rex Grossman.
And
it was all
great
deep. It was deep. There you go.
And
no
Lovie
doubt.
Smith.
But they are moving into, I believe they're moving into a new stadium.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not even close.
But within the next 6 years, maybe.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah.
Right now, they're pitting city against city to see who wants them. Arlington Heights against Cook County against the other counties. There's like 5 different bids. They're holding every city hostage
That
in Illinois.
That in itself just sounds like a franchise that doesn't get it. Like, I mean, would the Lions do that? Hey, we're moving. Let's see if Dearborn wants to. Let's see if, like, nah, it sounds like a franchise that still does not have their finger on the pulse.
When J.J. McCarthy is the number 1 pick in the draft, I just want everybody to, I'm just going to sit here.
Yep.
Okay, this is my request.
Okay.
When J.J. McCarthy goes 1 overall, the first quarterback taking, because I think Marvin Harrison would be number 1 if, like, at Chicago or something like that. When that happens, I'm just going to sit here for 2 hours. I'm not going to say a word, and I just want everybody to say, I apologize.
Sorry, Ryan.
I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. One after the next. Be like a rotation, like a you go to a funeral.
Carousel.
They go to a funeral and
We're paying our respects to you.
You go to a funeral and they all walk by and say, I'm sorry. I want everybody to say, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize.
I understand exactly why you say he's going number 1. And no. There's a lot of merit to that, like the leadership role, and just he's not a headache, and he is going to be there. If this would have been, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that definitely, in my opinion, would have played a factor. We live in the era now in the NFL, they love the flash. They just love the flash. They love the pizzazz. So they don't mind the headaches anymore in the NFL if you can deliver.
By the way, the Jets just sent McCall Hardman back to the Chiefs.
Hey, why isn't Frank Clark with the Chiefs yet?
I don't know.
Probably the way he left.
The Jets literally they paid him, and then they gave him away and like swapped 7th and 6th round picks. Another giveaway. We don't want him. We'll pay him. You take him.
He probably wanted to get back.
Oh, guys, let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 60 years, 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
I'm sorry. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
I'm sorry.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC in Ferndale. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know. It's located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. If you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, look no further than Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want. All GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
And every time I hear Les Stanford, I think of Mike G in the Woodward Sports chat, who always writes, more Maz, Les Stanford.
That's pretty good. You can say that for every first time I heard it when you said it last week.
I think that is so funny.
Thanks,
I don't
Mike
know
G.
why. Nerd Life Chris donated $9.99.
Ooh, that's big.
If the Lions win Sunday, would y'all say they're the favorite to have the number one seed since the Eagles and 49ers schedule are more difficult and the Lions gets easier? Nerd Life Chris, we believe that now. Yeah. Even if they lose on Sunday, I still think they are the favorites.
There's only
to get the number one seed. I'm not saying right now they're better than San Francisco or Philadelphia.
They don't
even
have
though
to be.
I think they are, but they don't have to be.
We're not playing them.
They've got, guys, just quickly, the Lions play Baltimore this week, and then for the next 8 weeks, they don't play a team that is above 500.
Yeah.
Raiders, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings.
Cowboys.
Cowboys in the middle there, second to last game.
Yeah.
Week 16.
Hopefully we're resting our starters by then.
Week 17 is the next time the Lions will play a team with a winning record. Week 17.
How about that?
After this week.
Wow.
That's what it comes down to. Sometimes it's like it's not about and we said this. We were ahead of the curve. We said stop looking at it in terms of 17 or instead of these number of games. Look at it as the teams they're playing against. Look at their quarterbacks. Look at their teams. Look at their records. And then you say, oh, you know what? That 13-4 is reachable.
No doubt. Guys, it's Michigan State week. We go to our good friend, intern Alex. He is our Michigan insider. It is Wolverine Wednesdays with intern Alex, brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. How you doing, intern Alex? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. College football season's going great so far. Wolverines caught another great dub this weekend and hopefully going to bring Paul back home to Ann Arbor for another year, so not much to complain about.
Alex, it's been 25 years. What is it like on campus rivalry week? I know the game is in East Lansing, but is there an extra excitement? Because I got to be honest with you, we're a little kind of just blah about the Michigan State game because we feel like they're going to win by 35 or more points.
There's still a ton of excitement around campus. Like, speaking of me personally, I know I'm going up early on Friday to hang out with friends from high school, and many other kids from, the Midwest, Chicago are doing the same. So there's still always that extra excitement every year for Michigan State, even if they're not looking as good as they do most years.
Yeah, it may not be a lot of excitement, down here, but this is still the rivalry. It still is Michigan State. It is still Michigan. It is the fall. It's that time of year. It's going to be a good game. What do you want to see out of Michigan going into this week? Because I feel like Michigan's done a really good job of improving week by week, especially once they hit the Big Ten schedule. For me, I want to see the ground game improve. I think I want to see it just look better. Not necessarily yards, but I just want to see it look like it did in the years past. What is it that IA wants to see with this Michigan team this week against State?
I want to see us come out of the gate really hot this week. We didn't have a great first quarter against Indiana offensively. We kind of struggled moving the ball. I really want to see us get the ground game running like you said. Last week, Ben Hall actually led us in yards rushing instead of Corum or Edwards. So I'd like to see Corum and Edwards get going early because Michigan State is also the number 3 team in the country on third down defense. So it's really important for Michigan to stay ahead of the chains and keep this drive.
Did you just make that up? Did you just make? No, I'm just.
No, I did not.
I'm just messing with you.
Hey, Alex, what do you make about J.J. McCarthy? He's now the number 3 guy on top of the list. His odds are going up to win the Heisman. I believe he's the 3rd favorite behind Michael Penix, and I forgot who the number 2 guy was. Jaden Daniels, maybe.
LSU.
Yeah. What do you make of him and his progression? Because he's never going to have the numbers, these gaudy numbers that some of these other quarterbacks throw up, but the efficiency that he has is unlike anything we see in the country either.
Yeah, you made a great point at the end there that he won't have the counting stats, but he definitely has the efficiency numbers. Like, he's the number 1 quarterback in the country in, like, almost every efficiency stat. Like, if you average them all out, he's doing amazing at all that. He won't have the Penix numbers just because he doesn't have as many possessions per game, but he's playing at the highest level of quarterback at college football, highest we've seen at Michigan in my lifetime, and probably yours as well. I think he 100% could get a Heisman Trophy, or at least be deserving of it. The voters won't look at efficiency stats and all that. However, I think if you look at most impactful players on their team across the country, it is hard to convince me that J.J. McCarthy is not top 5.
Hey, Alex, what about the Lions? Michigan's defense, too. This team is as good as anybody in the country. They just maul teams. And I don't know how Michigan State even stays competitive in this one with their offense versus Michigan's defense.
Yeah, I have a really hard time seeing them staying competitive for the whole game as well with this defense. Like, Michigan is still yet to allow a single point in the 3rd quarter. Jesse Minter, we saw last year, we see again this year, is just a wizard when it comes to second half adjustments. So I don't really see that coming. And Caden Hauser only has a 1 start, so we don't have a ton of film on him. He looked good on like short and medium, but doesn't have a great long ball and not the tightest spiral. So I think if Michigan really lets the corners get up tight, press hard, and make them beat them deep, I think Michigan defense holds on strong once again.
Hey, let me ask you this question. You know, one of the big things early on, or kind of towards the middle of Harbaugh's tenure here in Ann Arbor, is the transfer portal. Michigan was leading the charge in teams, players transferring out of their institution. Now it seems they flipped it around and they got guys that are really working for them. Just talk about how Jim Harbaugh has been able to use that transfer portal over the last 2 or 3 years.
I mean, yeah, Harbaugh completely changed his portal philosophy, especially this offseason being aggressive. Like, we have 2 stars on the offensive line, Ladarius Henderson and Drake Nugent, who are transfer portal players. Michigan's in a kind of a strong spot and a weak spot where, since they're one of the premium programs in college football, they can, kind of go and raid worse programs and get their quality stars. Like, Drake Nugent was a Remington semifinalist last year, and now he's starting for Michigan instead of staying at Stanford. But the one weakness we have is the Michigan admissions department doesn't take a lot of transfer credit, so that limits us with some players, especially if they're coming from not as academically rigorous schools. Also, like Ladarius Henderson had to enroll in the summer because he had to graduate at ASU, or else he would have lost a ton of credits when coming to Michigan. So that hurts us. But being in this premium position really sets Michigan up for a prolonged run of dominance in college football.
I'm glad Josiah Stewart's credits transferred over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Hey, Alex, let me ask you about the other big game going on in the Big Ten East on Saturday. It's Penn State and Ohio State. It's big noon kickoff. Everybody's going to be there. It's the game of the weekend. How do you see that one going? Because this feels like a really big game for both teams. I wouldn't count out the loser, but your season could be on the line on Saturday, Penn State and Ohio State.
Yeah, it's an absolutely massive game for each team. I mean, neither one wants to have one loss heading into their Michigan game, because if they get two, a 2-loss Big Ten East team, you're out of the race for the Big Ten championship. I really think this is going to go to Ohio State this week, unfortunately. Penn State just has not looked good outside of Beaver Stadium under James Franklin. I was looking at the last 2 times they've gone on the road against a top 5 team. It was Iowa in 2021, where they lost a close game by 3 points against a team that Michigan went smacked in the Big Ten championship game later. And then also last year against Michigan, when, again, Michigan just destroyed them. But they kept it close at home against Ohio State for 3 quarters, pretty much. So I think they're going to struggle on the road. Even though this is the best Penn State team in years, I think they're actually going to give Michigan a closer game than Ohio State, just because of Franklin's in-game management and time struggles on the road.
All right, last question for me. Looking at this NCAA rankings roster right now, who are your top 3? I don't even need 5. Who are your top 3?
My top 3 teams right now.
Top 3 teams
Michigan,
in college football. And then you got to give me a little. You got to give me a little tidbit on why. Michigan. Why?
Michigan, most well-rounded, unstoppable offense, control the ball, time of possession. And then the best defense in college football, I think, by far. The fact they got 0 points in the third quarter so far, and only 3 of the drives that Michigan defense has let get into the red zone have resulted in points. So they're so good when the field gets short, so hard to score on. Give me Michigan. Then 2, Washington. We finally see them get a big win this weekend against Oregon in an absolute thriller of a game.
Oregon's a hell of a team.
Like the best. Yeah, Oregon's a hell of a team. Dan Lanning, great coach, I think. Even to face, he was aggressive, but I like it. Same with DeBoer. He's also very aggressive on the 2-point conversions and the 4th downs. But Michael Penix and that offense with O'Duns and McMillan, they're just looking like an unstoppable force out west, and I think they're going to run the rest of the Pac-12. And then number 3, even though they haven't looked great this year, I'm still going to just stick with Georgia. Back-to-back national champs, looking to be the first 3-peat team since Minnesota in the 1930s. And that roster has had so much talent, so much depth at every level, where I really think come late season they can turn on and become the monster that they have in the past few years.
No Brock Bowers.
The great intern Alex, he is one of our faves, and we really appreciate him joining us on Wednesdays.
Yes,
Wolverine
sir.
Wednesdays, brought to you by our friends at Skinny Butcher. Thanks so much, intern Alex. Enjoy the game, be safe, and stay away from those Spartan fans.
Thanks for having me. Go Blue.
You got it. Go Blue, baby. Go Blue. Thanks, Alex. We appreciate it. Guys, I got to get to a break. When we come back, Neil Rule said something that I want to respond to on the show today.
Man.
Love Neil Rule.
Competition.
Let me tell you, though, if you want to watch the game with us, you can do that. The Michigan State live stream. Go Blue or go Green. Woodward Sports Network, Great Divide viewing party. Sit back, crack open a cold one, line up your bets, tune in to watch the Battle of the Paul Bunyan Trophy with your favorite Woodward Sports personalities this Saturday starting at 7:30. Woodward Sports on YouTube. Now a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys, Big Boy, they got the best cheeseburger and chicken sandwiches in town. Why don't you start off with that brand new pretzel bacon cheeseburger, or if you're in the mood for a little chicken, the Dolly chicken sandwich, or if you like it spicy like George Costanza, it is Bob's hot chicken sandwich. And load those fries up, chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, a loaded baked potato fries ought to die for, and save room for dessert, the Reese's chocolate peanut butter Thunder cake, and those funnel cake fries. Get those shakes too. Bring me a strawberry shake back from you at Big Boy.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM, PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and obviously so much more. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so go to the academyofwarren.net, that website again, academyofwarren.net.
Academy. Absolutely. Hey, want to let you know about Fairway Packing as well. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks, order online. FairwayPacking.com. FairwayPacking.com. And, of course, next Monday, You can join us at Woodward Sports and Long Drink Monday, October 30th. Every home game, the official Lions VIP tailgate party, Eastern Market Shed 5. It is always a bash. Doors open at 5:30. The official Lions tailgate party back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it? With Woodward Sports, to be treated like a VIP. Food, beverages, entertainment, all included. Get your tickets online today. BullseyeEventGroup.com. BullseyeEventGroup.com. Want to get Neil Rule involved here. Neil Rule, not a Michigan lover.
Not at all.
Not at all. Is that fair to say?
He likes the state of Michigan.
Oh, he had some comments today.
My mouth is zipped.
He had some comments today on J.J. McCarthy being lifted up a little bit when it comes to the odds makers to win the Heisman Trophy. Here's what he had to say earlier today. Big D Energy, which you can hear weekdays 11:01.
Flannel.
Yes.
Something that triggered me yesterday.
Oh boy.
And I won't put him out there by name, but they have a talk show on SiriusXM's college sports station. Who is a Heisman voter, by the way. Every week, The Athletic kind of lays out their Heisman awards and who everybody that has a vote would vote for.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this person say on their show, I have Michael Penix at 1. Yeah, I would say he's probably the favorite.
For sure.
I have Caleb Williams at 2. You know, stubbed his toe maybe for the first time ever in his career. But the resume solid, sure. I have J.J. McCarthy 3rd.
I like that. I'm not saying that he's there now, but he could get there. Let's see how he plays at Penn State and home versus Ohio State and even at Maryland. If he plays well in that stretch, if he plays well in that 3-game stretch, he might just end up in New York.
And I knew that going in. I knew that was going to be your response to it.
All right.
I knew it was. Can I put that on the poll? Is J.J. McCarthy one of the top 3 college football players? In today's day, look around.
As of right now, no.
Okay, I want to see how honest the people are.
But here's the thing. Like, to be honest about it, and like, what am I, savage to stick up for Sam in this point? His road ahead of him could put him there.
But how?
But because
you just discredit everybody else what they've done to this point.
But we're saying if he wins out in the games he has to win and has to play like a top 3 guy, what I'm saying is that he's still got a path to the national championship or towards there and big games against Ohio State and stuff like that. I don't see it over Michael Penix, Neil. But you're saying how can you see him getting there and being in the conversation? Because Michigan's in the playoff, they won Ohio State, they're undefeated, and he shined down the stretch.
So everything Michael Penix has done goes away if J.J. McCarthy has a good game in the 2 legit games he's got to play.
Are we not talking about how does he get to New York?
No, I'm saying no. In that space.
I'm not talking about how does he win. I thought the question was, this person had him 3rd and has him going to New York. How do we get J.J. to New York? No, he's got to be way, way behind in the voting. To what Penix has done and put on paper. Isn't this 2 different conversations?
Yes.
Right? Because I think J.J. McCarthy's pathway to New York is what? Plus 200, whereas winning it is plus 2,000.
Sure. It's not going to.
Oh, Neil hates J.J. McCarthy. And again, I just looked at the stats. Let me give you the stats.
Give me the exit velo.
Tell you about that rotation, the spin rate. There are 90 quarterbacks. 90. Not 9. 90 of them. Quarterbacks in college football that have thrown more passes, Braylon, than J.J. McCarthy.
I think high school kids
90
too.
of them.
Yeah.
But there is one quarterback, who has completed a completion percentage better than J.J. It's Bo Nix. There is one quarterback that has a better quarterback rating than him, and that's Jaden Daniels at LSU. So it goes back to the gaudy stats versus the efficiency numbers. And we'll find out, right? I mean, they are going to go on the road and play at Penn State.
Yeah.
Very big game. They are going to play Ohio State, and you might think that the Ohio State game is a gimme.
No,
but Ohio
State
State
no such thing.
is the number 3 team in the country.
There's no such thing as a gimme in that game.
If Ohio State's 3, Penn State 6. You are playing two of the top teams in the country, which is a lot more than a lot of other teams have to say for themselves. I mean, college football is down this year, and when it comes to that major mega team. So we'll see what happens in those two games and see if JJ can play himself in.
Look, at the end of the day, man, we know who wins the Heisman. It's quarterbacks, and it's the quarterbacks on the best team in the country. So the reason how he gets into that is beating Penn State, beating Ohio State, beating whoever the hell comes out of the West. I don't even know who's in first place in the West right now, by the way. That's how sad the West and the Big Ten.
Either.
And I think it might be
Purdue,
Iowa, and I don't know how. Is Iowa?
Wisconsin?
No, it's not. It might be. I don't know. But it comes down to you beat Penn State, you have a good game. You beat Ohio State, you have a good game. Both those teams right now are ranked inside the 6. They're ranked inside the top 6, and then
it's Iowa 3-1, Wisconsin 2-1,
and Iowa lost to somebody by 37 early on when the year first started. But anyway,
they lost to Penn State 31-0.
There we go. By
but
31,
beat Wisconsin 15-6.
They need Caitlin Clark to beat Michigan.
Thank you. So with that being said, they be throwing some half quarters.
Yep.
So with that said, you play who you play your schedule. If you look at the end, how the hell did Max Duggan get into New York last year? How did Stetson Bennett IV, which sounds like a deodorant, how did he get into New York last year? You know why? Because their teams were the best in the country. They won the games. Caleb Williams came out of nowhere to win the Heisman because they didn't have anybody to give it to because Blake Corum got hurt. If Blake Corum doesn't get hurt, he might have held up the Heisman last year. They gave it to Caleb because he played well at the end of the year. They had nobody else to give it to. They're like, I'd be damned if we give it to Stetson Bennett. I'd be damned if we give it to Max Duggan. Those guys got to New York. Those guys don't play for University of Michigan. Michigan is the brand. They go undefeated for another season, which will be his second season undefeated, by the way. It'll be a second season undefeated. You can't deny that. That's how you find a path, and that's how you get chosen. Hey, you may not like the stats, but last time I checked, 13-0, 2 years in a row. Now he's the main guy. I'm taking this Michigan.
And that's why you're you.
Hey, go blue.
Great call again.
That's why you're rock solid this week, Braylon Edwards.
I'm pretty sure if you
rock freaking solid.
Hey, less is more.
Way to go, Bray. Way to go. Hey, Tom Mazaway, baseball. I'll let you give the people a winner tonight.
All right, guys. You got the Houston Astros. That's right. They are down 2-0 to the Texas Rangers. Houston sending Christian Javier to the mound against Mad Max Scherzer.
Oh, Scherzer's
He hasn't
back.
pitched since, August. Hopefully he is going to be feeling better.
Give up 3 in the first.
If they don't get to Max in the first 2 innings, I think he settles in and he knocks off the Astros. Astros are an underdog, but they win more on the road than they do at home. So we would laugh. The Astros have the Rangers right where they want them, but the Rangers are 7-0 in the playoffs. I'm not giving you a winner here. I'll tell you this. Bet the over. Bet the over in this game, okay?
Yeah.
And let's see who wins. Red Wings tonight at home against Pittsburgh. I'll be there. Tammy Chin, I'll see you up there tonight at Little Caesars Arena.
Look at you, Maz. Bray, get us out of here, big guy.
Hey, the good news about Heisman trophies, they are not given out in October. They will be given out at the end of the year, and by then, maybe Michael Penix will hold on. But you know what, the Pac-12, they've had a ton of quarterbacks throw for a ton of yards. They don't seem to stay in the race at the end of the year. But hell of a good show out of you guys. Tomorrow's Thursday. What do you want to talk about Thursday? A little top 10 Thursday?
Top 10
We got to do Michigan State
Little top
somehow.
No, we've been talking about it, man.
What do you want to say about it?
All right, I'm done.
We just had intern Alex on for 30 minutes.
What do you want me to say about
Nothing. Who do you like?
I like Michigan literally 60-0.
Okay. That's enough.
Not
then.
really. I think Michigan will win by at least 40.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think the score is going to be like, for old time's sake, 49-2. I mean,
State's
52-10.
49-20.
State's breaking out a new uni. They're breaking out their shadow unis.
They're wearing their black for their funeral.
Little shadow thing.
That's why Michigan State is wearing the black jerseys because they're going to a funeral on Saturday
There's a couple
night.
funerals going on.
And it's their own.
Let me stop talking. Let me stop talking. Let me stop talking stuff.
That's good.
It's gonna be
That's really good, actually. I just thought about that too.
You should use that on the 9.
You should use that tomorrow.
That was good. That was actually good. Look, that's our show, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is what we do. 2 more days left. We'll talk some Michigan State tomorrow. Psych.
We're going to Baltimore tomorrow.
For Ryan, Ermanni, JB, Maz, and Parker over here, we are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. See you tomorrow.